Good morning, students. Today we are going to start a new chapter of second semester, that is language of chemistry. So there will be 3 chapters coming in the second semester, that is language of chemistry, chemical reactions and carbon and its compounds. So let's begin this chapter, language of chemistry. So the first topic in this chapter is modern atomic symbol. So in previous chapter also we have studied that this atomic symbol was introduced by chemist J.J. Berzelius. He introduced and he proposed the system of atomic symbols. All the elements symbols had been given by John Jacob Berzelius, means J.J. Berzelius, and it is acceptable, universally acceptable. So what he said, that it is easier to write an abbreviated form or word than to draw a figure. The chemical signs ought to be letters for the greater facility of writing. And we know that the chemical sign is either the initial letter of the common Latin or Greek name of each chemical element. Like the element carbon was assigned the symbol C, as you see here, hydrogen H, oxygen O, phosphorus P, silicon Si, and so on, right? So the first letter be common on 2 or more elements. What he said, that if the first letter be common on 2 or more elements, I shall use both the initial letter and the first letter they do not have in common. Like for example, the symbols of copper. You know the Latin name of copper is cuprum. So he chose capital C, means capital letter of first, that is cuprum C, and the second letter small, that is U. So Cu. Calcium Ca, cadmium Cd, and cobalt, written wrong cobalt, but it will be cobalt, Cobalt, cobalt Co, respectively. Now you see, if he didn't choose copper as a Latin name cuprum, then the cobalt and copper both having symbol Co. That is why he chose copper, the Latin name of copper, that is cuprum, so that the cobalt and copper can have different symbols. That is why he chose copper, Latin name of copper. The symbol of an element is an abbreviation, or we can say it as a shorthand notation of element for the full name of the element, and it is also defined as the shorthand notation for its name. Now here you can see that in the next line you can see from book that symbol of hydrogen is capital H and helium is He. First letter capital and the second one is small. Now you see table 1. See the table. You can see the sources of these elements are either from Latin or Greek name. You see all the Latin and Greek name of these elements, like sodium, natrium. So capital Na. Potassium, kalium. So it's K. Like that. You can see here the Latin and Greek name of these elements. You can see that how these symbols are denoted by their Latin name. Now we have studied that the significance of symbol in a previous chapter or in standard 7 also. What does the symbol tells us about? It tells us about both qualitative and quantitative significance. So these means, if I am writing this atomic symbol of carbon C, it tells us that the symbol stands for the name of the element. If I'll write C, that means it is carbon. Now the symbol stands for one atom of the element. If I write only C, that means one atom of carbon is present. Now the symbol represents quantity of the element equal in mass to its atomic mass or gram atomic mass. Like you know that atomic mass of carbon is 12. So it tells us about 12 gram of carbon is present. Now the symbol also represents mass of the element, which contains 1 Avogadro's number of atoms of that element. 1 Avogadro number is equal to 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. So in the fourth point you can see the mass of oxygen, which contains 1 Avogadro number. Means one atom of oxygen contains 1 Avogadro number, that is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. You will learn about this Avogadro number in higher classes also. Okay, so these are the significance of symbol. These four points are the significance of symbol. So if I write like this the symbol of element, by seeing it you can see that B means it gives us the name of the element, that is boron. One atom of boron is present. It tells us that what is the quantity of element. One atom of boron is present. Its mass it is given 10.81 and 1 Avogadro number of the mass of boron is present. The mass of boron, it contains 1 Avogadro number. Right, so like C, carbon, N, nitrogen, O, oxygen, F, fluorine, Ne, neon. So like this it tells us about the name of the element. Now the next topic is valence electron and valency. So what is valence electron? So the electrons which are present in the outermost shell of an atom are called its valence electron. Its means that element. Like for example, if you see here, boron 3 valence electron is present. Next, silicon 4 valence electron is present. And antimony you see 51, 5 valence electron is present. Now you see here that boron having 5 atomic number. So you know the electronic distribution 2, 3. So 2 electrons in the K shell and 3 electrons in the L shell. So which is the outermost shell of boron is L shell. So how many electrons are there in the L shell? 3 electrons. So there are 3 valence electrons in boron. And see in the same way silicon and antimony also. Okay. Silicon having 14 atomic number. So if you arrange it, so 2, 8, 4. So like this 4 electrons in the outer motion, and since silicon having 4 valence electrons. Okay. Outer shell means what? The number of valence electrons determines an element's chemical properties. For example, the noble gases on the right side of the periodic table are inert. Inert means what? It do not react with other atoms. Okay, it is stable. It doesn't react with other atoms. Now see the valency. So according to the electronic theory of valency, it defined number of electrons it transfers to some other atom or it shares with some other atom during any chemical reaction is called its valency. Like sodium, we know the atomic number of sodium is 11. So the electronic distribution is 2, 8, and chlorine 17. So 2, 8, 7. So in order to complete its outermost shell, what sodium will do is it loses one electron. So if it loses one electron, the outermost shell is complete. Right. So what happened? Sodium will lose one electron to complete its outermost shell. So if it lose one electron, the electronic distribution will be 2,8 and it is stable. It completes its octet. Now in the case of chlorine, which is having 17 electrons, so 2,8, 7. So what it can do is it cannot lose 7 electrons. No, it is really very tough or hard to lose 7 electrons by a small atom like chlorine. So what it will do, it will gain 1 electron to complete its outermost shell. So if it gain 1 electron, it becomes 2,8, 8, right? And like this way it is stable. So the valency of Na plus is what? It loses 1 electron, so plus 1. And what about Cl minus? Minus 1. It gains 1 electron. So the valency of Cl minus is minus 1. Now as you can see here, the table, hydrogen having plus 1 valency. Like this way you have to remember all the valency of these type of elements, So you have to remember all the valencies. Like you see, phosphorus showing 2 types of valency. It shows variable valency, plus 3 and plus 5. Sulfur showing variable valency, plus 2, plus 4 and plus 6. In details you will learn in higher classes, but for now you should remember that the valency of these type of these elements which is given in your book. Now we have to know about the molecular formula of an element. So first of all, you should know about the molecule. Molecule means what? A collection of atoms that move and act together as a single entity. Like for example, you see here, atoms. H, molecule H2. So it is a collection of hydrogen atom. H is an atom because it is a single atom. One atom of hydrogen is present. H2, 2 atoms of hydrogen. It is a collection of atoms. So molecule means what? It is a collection of atoms that move and act together as a single entity. So H2 is a molecule. Now oxygen, you see, O is an atom. Oxygen is an atom. H2O. Now you see H2, it is a collection of hydrogen and oxygen atom. 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen is there. So it is a molecule. Now you see this third one. Nitrogen. N is a single. So it is an atom. And NH3, 1 atom of nitrogen and 3 atoms of hydrogen together acts as a single unit and move also as a single unit. So it is a molecule as it is a collection of nitrogen and 3 atoms of hydrogen. So this H2 is the molecular formula of an element, and this H2O and NH3, it is a molecular formula of a compound. Right, first of all let's focus on the molecular formula of an element. So the molecular formula of an element is written as you can see here, like write the symbol. First of all you have to write the symbol of the element, that is H. Write the number of atoms present in its molecule as a subscript. So you can see here that in the subscript of hydrogen it is written 2 on the right hand side of the symbol. So symbol of hydrogen you have to write, and in the subscript you have to write the number of hydrogen atom that is present in a molecule. So a molecule of hydrogen contains 2 hydrogen atoms. So the molecular formula of hydrogen is H2. Now you can see the molecular formula of elements which is given in this table. So you should learn that what is the molecular formula of these elements. Atomicity means, I hope you understood, that the number of atoms which is present in element. Phosphorus, P4, ozone, O3, sulfur, S8. These are the important one. Now this sodium, copper, iron means these are the metals, and carbon is a non-metal. These exists as a 3-dimensional collection of atoms. So it doesn't exist as discrete molecules. Okay. So the molecular formula of these elements are described by their symbols only. Now you know that the molecule of a compound contains atom of the constituent elements in a fixed ratio by mass or by volume. So H2O is water. Why? Because there are two elements is present in a fixed ratio by mass or by volume. So H2O, two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen is there, and we call them a molecule of water. Okay. A molecule of ammonia contains one atom of nitrogen and three atoms of hydrogen. In your book, molecular formula of ammonium chloride is given, which is the formula of NH4Cl, means that molecule of ammonium chloride contains one atom of nitrogen, four atoms of hydrogen and one atom of chlorine. So this is all about the molecular formula of compound. So this is all about for today's class. Learn properly, read the chapter thoroughly, and if you have any problem, comment in the comment box. I'll try to solve that queries in the coming lecture. Thank you.